Hi, guys. I'm here to talk about a couple things today that has happened. And once again, it just shows us that Scientology will go to any lengths to get to people. A new friend that joined us in protesting, sent me some notes. And you can see let me get over here to the right here. So I'll show them in a second. But what has happened is, like, since she's been protesting, they have now started what they call, Scientology calls and everybody else calls, fair gaming. And that's the tactic of them trying to scare a person and threaten a person so that they hopefully in their eyes will disappear. Now, this is kind of new to me, bringing in some outside documents into this live, so be patient with me right now. I want to read something that I wrote earlier so that it's pretty clear on what I'm going to show you here. So, in a recent encounter, a newfound companion engaged in peaceful protests against practices of Scientology found themselves confronted with a communication strategy known as fair game. This term faced the individual inquired about the nature of a message received, questioned whether it constituted a threat. Curiously, the response insisted that it was not a threat, raising perplexing questions about the apparent contradiction between denial or threat and subsequent demand for the removal of an interview featuring someone named Natalie. Now, I don't know who that person is, Natalie, but that's not what I want to get into right now. I just wanted to show you guys what's going on here. And so the removal, let me find where I was. Nature and says, so removing feature Natalie. Furthermore, the act of calling out others in seemingly a non-threatening manner adds to the complexity of Scientology's communication tactics. The concept of fair gaming within Scientology is far from being a mere game. Instead, it represents a set of practices employed by the organization to instill fear and concern individuals into submission. This strategy is used with frequency, goes way beyond conventional notions of fair play versus and veneers into realm of design to intimidate and manipulate. The insistence on removing Natalie's interview, coupled with the public calling out of other, underscores the true nature of Scientology's fair gaming practices. So, subsequently, in disavowing any threat while simultaneously engage in action that aims control to silence and voices highlights to interact nature of Scientology's approach. This through the seamlessly contradictory movers that Scientology endeavors to assert dominance over those who challenge or oppose its ideologies. The overreacting intent is to create an environment of fear or concern and submission, effectively stifling and distancing the criticism or any criticism. In essence, Scientology's fair game practice extends beyond the boundaries of what is traditionally perceived as a fair game. Instead, they manifest and calculate a strategic effort to investigate apprehensive and compliance, illustrating the organization's commitment to maintaining control over its narratives and suppressing opposition. And so this is all fair gaming. And so I'm going to show you what she received today, and we'll go down and we'll just read it. And so does the person does not identify themselves, of course, comes in anonymous. And the first thing the person says, tell no name D, I know his real name. Tell Elizabeth, I know his real names. I'm suspecting he meant hers, or maybe it is his. And then tell Christy, I know her. Don't go on growing up in Scientology. It will ruin your life forever. Now, if that's not a threat, I don't know where we begin to start calling it a threat. And as you guys know, that growing up in Scientology is Aaron's channel. And so she replies, well, why do you say that? Do you, I can't, there's a mark there, his real name? I don't get it. Do you know his real name? Maybe that's what it's saying. She goes, I don't get it. Don't go on growing up on Scientology. It will ruin your life forever. Okay, so we've read that. Okay. Why do you say that? She says, do you mean him's real name? I don't get it. No, calls her out by name. Tells your moderators, I know their names. Tell Natalie to delete your interview with her. She's like, "Why should she delete it? You're making a Are you making a threat?" And the person then says, "No, I'm not. I'm not. Not at all. Why would you assume that? I'm just saying don't go on Aaron's YouTube." Now, once again, is that a threat? I mean, why would somebody out of the blue just come and start spewing this kind of information that you don't even know and telling her not to go on Aaron's show? To me, it's all fair gaming. And then once again, tell Natalie to delete her interview with you. I know your mods' names. No threats at all from me. Well, okay, she says. I then see no reason not to do Aaron's show or ask Natalie to take her episode down. It's shedding Scientology in a negative light. Have you, I know she said, have you tried Scientology's practices? Period, he says. Won't try heroin either, she says, just kind of joking, keeping it kind of light. You're just going to believe all of these people that got kicked out of Scientology. All these people did not get kicked out of Scientology. All these people escaped and blew Scientology because of the way they were treated. And most of them were kids and were trapped in there and were born in Scientology. So they did not get kicked out of Scientology. I know that for sure. They got kicked out for a reason and they just want revenge, saying false things. Everything that I know, the people that he's talking about here, when they're saying something, they've got documentation or they personally experienced it themselves. So okay, let's go back. You're just going to believe all of these people that got kicked out of Scientology. They just got kicked out for a reason and they just want revenge to say false thing. Serge, Lara, Natalie, Aaron, Liz, they're all saying false things. How dare do you believe them? So it's just like out of the blue, this person just hits her up and sends her this message. Now, to me, and from everybody that I've talked to, this is fair gaming. This is exactly what Scientology does to a lot of people that have blown or have left and have spoken out. In fact, I believe today was today or yesterday was um, the case for Leah Remini again. And I was watching one in Aaron's feed. He was talking to somebody that was actually there that they just went back and forth, trying to dismiss this, get this pulled from Leah's case, get this pulled, and then they went into the whole trying to serve Miscavige. Anyway, so it's just like I wanted to show this to you guys because it just once again it just eats me away that these people are getting away with this kind of stuff and they do this all day long. I've heard where they've gone through people's trash, they've been caught going through people's trash. Um, Allegedly, they poisoned someone's dog and the dog died. So it's just really, super toxic, that, what these people are doing to others. And so I just wanted to bring this up today and just have a conversation about that. And I want to say hi, everybody that are sending in your chats. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. I'm going to keep this a short one, but another thing I wanted to touch on too is, like, the other day we were all supporting our friend Chris who got attacked. And in my YouTube, my live that I was doing, was given the benefit of the doubt to potentially it being a homeless person. But the more and more we started listening to it, and others who were in Scientology, um, definitely said that this is fair gaming once again from Scientology. And I've worked with homeless people. I volunteer my time with homeless people. Yeah, they panhandle, but they never get violent. They're not there to steal. They're just there to just make their day go easier and ask for a little food and ask for a little, some money or whatever. But they don't go to this degree of attacking someone. And the thing that was really frightening about it, and we'll get into this other subject that I want to talk about too, is that while um, while he got attacked, he actually ran a police LAP, just what, 15 minutes, 5 minutes prior to him getting attacked, he was talking to the LAPD because Scientology said that confident Chris is out there hunting ducks and we think he needs a mental checkup. You know, just they call the police all the time and the police respond quickly all the time. Well, right after the attack that Chris had with this encounter with this person wearing a hoodie, disguising his face, um, there was a police car that was driving by, and Chris had a pocket flashlight, and so he took out his flashlight, ran into the street, right up to the LAPD, trying to flash them down, and the police car just says, "Get out of the road, sir. Get out of the road, sir," and drove on. So if that's not a little fishy there to you guys, it's really fishy to me, and it's really frustrating to see. Once again, here LAPD is protecting Scientology. And then I'm going to go back up to another YouTube that I did just recently with Mindy, this girl that was protesting at the Celebrity Center with us. And she walked up to some young lady and she's like, "Hey, are you here for the Scientology thing? Do you have a minute to talk?" Or she started a conversation. The lady was just so annoyed and all that. And all she goes, she just reached out and attacked Mindy. And so while I was in the police office with her, talking to the sergeant, and you could hear this because I stopped videotaping, but I continued to record our conversation. I just left my live on, but I just faced it in a direction where you just really couldn't see faces or anything like that. And this sergeant was sitting there telling us over and over and over, "Oh, we have to stay in the middle. There is, we can't take sides. We have to stay in the middle. And it's really hard sometimes to stay in the middle because we don't know who to believe, what one side or the other side, but we do have to stay in the middle." And he kept saying this. And I'm like, okay, the middle, the middle, the middle. And then all of a sudden he turns around and he says to us, he goes, "But I just have to say this. You guys in your group, you guys are pretty aggressive." And right there, I looked at him, I'm like, is that staying in the middle for you to take your personal feelings about us being aggressive? We're the least aggressive people around Scientology. Talk about being aggressive. Scientology is aggressive, trafficking kids from all around the world, locking up their passports, teaming them up with adults where they are being SA, we'll call it. And so you talk about aggressiveness. And so anyway, so it just started you just see the fishiness with the LAPD because, you see them on the streets and they're guarding Scientology's properties from time to time. And the other night I saw on one of our friends' platforms where you saw like 3 police officers standing there with a black car behind them, and the black car represented like a police car, but it wasn't a police car. It was nothing like a police car. So just right there, you could just tell that, they're there off duty, getting paid by Scientology. And I know this happens all the time because I've even said this. My dad used to do that with the movie business all the time when he was on the force. During the weekends or whenever, late in the evenings, he would go and work off from Los Angeles Police Department on his own, but still be able to use his badge, carry his gun, ride his motorcycle, and block off streets for movies. So they get the opportunity to be hired by these companies. And which I don't see anything really wrong with it, but when they really don't stay in the middle, like the sergeant says, and they're on one side of the middle, which is Scientology size, it's once again, it's not fair play. So then during the last conversation I wanted to have was where I was talking about LAPD dispatch gets priority services for Scientology. And the police officer talking to Tao Hung, and it's Tao_HYUN. He was recording them while he was outside of the hospital while we were there waiting for Chris and see how Chris was doing. And sure enough, in the conversation, you hear him say, well, we can't decide what calls we go on first or second or whatever, something like this. And you can listen to his YouTube. It's either YouTube, it's probably YouTube. Yeah, definitely YouTube, because TikTok doesn't go that long, but it might be TikTok. It's on one of the two. And you could hear him say this, and he goes, but dispatch prioritize us to Scientology's calls. And that just sets me back to that moment where when we were with Aaron, when he came in to protest with us and he got attacked, I made a phone call, and not one single LAPD officer showed up. And even Aaron even mentioned it on one of his streams that there was a police car driving by, and one of our friends ran up to the police car and said, hey, look, 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 our friend's been attacked, we need help, can you stop and pull over? And once again they said, will you please get out of the street? So what is really going on with the LAPD and Scientology? That's what I would like to know. I would like to know who is prioritizing the police over the citizens of Los Angeles. And why are they running on a lot of bogus, I'm going to call them bogus, calls? They call in, like, there was one time they called in and they said that someone had a GUN. No one had a GUN. And so they just call in the police all the time, and the police just show up all the time. So it's taken away from our own citizens here in Los Angeles the ability to get protection if they need it, because they're running over to Scientology on these bogus calls. So anyway, so that just, like, it just shows me once again, because after I called, I jumped on a little lime to find the perpetrator, Patrick. We know his name is Patrick now. And it took me, drove around for a mile. It's on one of my shorts. You can see actually the map of the lime. It's like a bird of the road that I traveled until I found him. And so I found him, and then Laura caught up to me with others to back up me as we were following him to make sure he wasn't going to get away until the police got there. And then when we got over in front of the Hollywood and Highland building, he was sitting there, and everybody was kind of coming towards us and just, what are you doing? What are you following him for? What are you bugging him for? And we're just saying, hey, he just attacked one of our friends and released his dog on him. And so then I called the police again, and then 3 minutes later, they showed up. So it was a little just kind of very odd how they just didn't show up like instantly like they do for Scientology. And they just, and then when one drove by and one of our friends tried to stop them, they didn't even give them the time of the day. They just said, get out of the street. It's just, there's a lot of crookedness going on here. There's a lot of like behind the scenes between the LAPD and Scientology, on top of them just fair gaming people. Everybody's getting fair game. They're traveling, one of our Hellcats had this PI following him for a few, I don't know how many days with following him, and he could tell who they are. You could tell if someone's following you. So it's just, there's a lot of stuff that Scientology is, doing and has been doing forever, and doing it, over and over and over. And I think because Serge is my husband, that we don't get harassed, because I think, that would be the last person they'd want to be in court with, is Serge. Um, because he just calls it as it is. He knows it. He was in it long enough before he was able to escape. So his knowledge, you just can't touch it. I can't touch it. I can't explain certain tactics and certain procedures that they've done, because I never lived them and I never practiced them with Scientology. The only thing I ever did once was actually go in and actually take their test that they give you. And then that's when I just finally just turned away and, got this really bad feeling about it and said, this is really not for me. Thank you very much. Bye. So, so it's just, I just wanted to share that with you guys today. I wanted to come on and just, read that text that my friend got. And it just, it's just crazy. For me, it's like, on one hand, I don't see how they can get away with it. On the other hand, I can see how they're getting away with it, because I grew up with an LAPD officer, and I saw the stuff that was going on behind the scenes all the time. And I heard what they were doing behind the scenes all the time. So just another day in with Scientology and LAPD and their gaslighting. Um, I don't know. I think I'm just going to go down just check out and say hi to a few people before I sign off. But I just wanted to share this information with you, because I just got this probably about an hour and a half ago. And you can see that these messages came in around 5 o'clock today for her. So, yeah, Lara Font. Yeah, Serge has the receipts. Literally, he has the receipts, and so do so many others. I mean, I've seen binders of receipts. So and that probably just scares Scientology just to even know that they have their receipts. And it's interesting, because I know that even there's I'm like, should I say it? Should I not say it? They're just some inside information that people give as well. So I just really wanted to come on today and say hi. Once again, thank you, everybody. If you're there, thank you, mamas. Hit that like button so Osa doesn't have to. I like that. Binders, hell yes. RLC, definitely. Rachel, we love you as well. Um, there are so many people with so many receipts out there, you guys. I just, these kids have got it together. It's just getting, slowly to the authorities, whoever they may be, to really start looking into this deeper and deeper. And that's happening. We're making baby steps, and it keeps, these baby steps keep getting bigger to bigger steps. And it'll be nice just to be able to get the kids out of there. And, and I said this to someone the other day, and even I'm sure there's some adults out inside that would love to get out of there, but they just have no idea or no resources of how to blow. And And it's just, it's horrible for everyone. It's horrible for everyone's been gaslit into all this, and it's horrible. And then, and then I just thought of this. It's like, and then when they get out, I have talked to a few people that are out that seem like they're still in. So I don't know what that story is about, but it's going to be uncovered slowly, and it has been. You see it. Someone said that Hellcat's getting all the gadgets. Yeah, we're all getting all the gadgets. So you'll start to see a bunch of gadgets when we go out and protest. I think that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I just wanted to give you an update. The text messages from whoever sent them to my friend was a little alarming. And she was like, it's not intimidating me because I'm doing nothing wrong. All I'm doing is I'm there to help save the children. And that's our whole goal, is just to bring awareness and to share the knowledge of what's really going on behind the scenes. So thank you, everybody, for being on here today so quickly. I really, really appreciate it. You guys have just been wonderful. You guys, your support means everything to us, and we really, really appreciate it. And you guys are helping us with these baby steps as much as we take the baby steps. So keep coming back, keep listening, keep supporting, and much peace and love to everybody. And I will see you guys soon. I'll be back probably on, I do have my pet event tomorrow night, so that's going to be exciting. So I may not be on tomorrow, but I'll be back on. Maybe I'll come on after the pet event to tell you about the pet event and how wonderful it is. And, because like, it's so beautiful to see people, pet parents, it's a whole different breed. It's like, it's so cute. You guys will love this story. You know how I always talk about doing stories, talking about stories. I design homes, I design events, I design parties, I design, you know, whatever the client's art, whatever the clients want, I create magic. That's what I love to do, is I create magic. And one of my clients asked me one time, she's like, Michael, where the hell have you been? I need you. I need you to help me with my bathroom. I want to redo my bathroom. Meanwhile, we just redid it, not too long ago, but that's just what they do. They just circle around the house, they redo it. And by the time they get back to something that we've done before, they're okay, it's time to do this now. And one of them said to me, Michael, where have you been? And I sat there and I said, well, I've traded you bitches for my four-legged bitches. And it's true. The little four-legged ones are the sweetest ones in the world. And I just love it. I adore it. And I say a lot. Sorry, guys. It's just one of those things. We all have them. I noticed that when I was doing Clubhouse once, that I was like, God, I say that a lot. So I'm gonna start to try to like identify that before it comes out of my head, but I just say what comes out. Anyways, I love you guys for being here, supporting us, and I will see you guys soon. Keep following, keep listening, keep backing us up. We need your support more than you know. You guys don't know how much it really, really means to have you guys witnessing this, and just share with your friends, because a lot of people, like I said, like when I first met Serge, I only knew just a little bit about Scientology, but I didn't know much about Scientology. And it wasn't until I started meeting his friends and he started sharing his story and I started hearing their stories, I started going, oh my God, this is horrifying. This is horrific. And it really is. So time to take them down as quickly as possible. So with that, everybody be safe, be kind, much peace and love, and I will see you guys soon. All right. Bye.